What's up guys, Phoenix here. This video is going to be another Dragunity combo tutorial video, and this time it is going to be on a new ending variation to an old, well not really that old, but definitely a classic combo starting hand that this deck has to offer. Usually when I try to solitaire with Dragunities and come up with any new sort of combo, I typically do always use either YGOpro Instant Fusion or YGOpro Mistleton, as those are the de facto like starting card combinations that are going to yield good boards and are actually, you know, feasible to open, because Instant Fusion is a 3 of, Mistleton is a 2 to 3 of. You could also substitute Instant Fusion and Mistleton for each other in certain situations, stuff like that. But this combo actually is something that's been possible for a little while, but not a lot of people have actually wanted to play the pieces for it, because it does require you to main 2 copies of Mist Valley Baby Rock in order to make it functional. But what it does is it yields a rank 8, a level 8 Synchro, Red Eyes Darkness Metal at 2800, and an Atum on the board. Now, previously, I was using this towards the latter half of the Necros format when we had Norden, because Norden is very essential for the combo to actually function. And I was using this to, you know, go first turn Divine Dragon, Knight Felgrand, Stardust Dragon, Red Eyes Darkness Metal, and Atum. But that's not really that great in the current state of Yu-Gi-Oh! Because of the fact that we have cards like Stormforth, we have the Cosmo deck, we have stuff like that. Ultimately, we needed a stronger board presence outside of Divine Dragon, Knight Felgrand, and Stardust Dragon. Whereas that was amazing in Necros format because it allowed you to, you know, attack under Valks and stuff like that. As it stands right now, we just need better. Now, we have 2 new releases. One we got from the Gold Series, and one we got from Shining Victories, in the form of Titanic Galaxy and Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon. Now, this combo can be, you know, just modified and insert these cards instead of Stardust and Felgrand, and you ultimately yield a better result. Now, this combo also gets to just, you know, evolve further as more cards are released for this deck to potentially use. But like I said, it does require you to play some cards that people don't really want to run multiples of. For instance, you have to run 2 Mist Valley Baby Rock in the main deck for it to work, as well as you have to play Dragunity Armor Leviathan. So you do have the potential for bricking slightly increased, but honestly, in any build that I was playing, the second Mist Valley Baby Rock would probably just be either a second Garuda or it'd be something like Harpy Harpist, so the potential for it to be a brick card would also always just be there. But I'm just going to go ahead and jump straight into showing you guys how this combo is structured, just in case you guys do not know how it should go, and ultimately just, you know, getting to showing you the ending board and ultimately what sort of card advantage you end up ending with after all is said and done. Alright, so looking at the cards we have to start with here, you obviously want to open, you know, YGOpro Instant Fusion in some form or capacity. You could obviously do this with YGOpro Mistleton plus, like, a monster, but that monster has to be Garuda, Baby Rock, or Zephyros for this specific play string to be feasible and actually end with the board you're trying to end with. But then you obviously also want to just draw trap cards with this combo, because it's something you want to be doing going first. You want to have cards to protect it. Now, honestly, Dragon's Mind is a really good card to have, simply because you're going to be leaving an Atum on the board, and that Atum is also protected via Titanic Galaxy, because of the fact that Titanic Galaxy has that effect that redirects attacks to itself, meaning that you can flip this. Atum makes everything, you know, your opponent could summon 2400 or less not be, you know, able to be summoned, special summoned at least, and then Titanic Galaxy, if they're able to summon anything bigger than that, is going to offer a layer of protection alongside Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon. But anyway, your play string starts out generally like any of your Instant Fusion play strings, you know, start with, where you just, you know, go into your Vajrayana, and then your Instant Fusion is going to get Norden, which gets back Dux, which allows you to go into your Gaydarg. It's very, very standard, very cookie cutter, but then again, most Dragunity combos are at the very, very early stages, because you start amassing your board presence, your advantage, your card pool that you're going to be working with, and then you just start using free card interactions to basically step up your resources into bigger resources, and then, you know, it just kind of snowballs from there until you achieve your ending board. But yeah, you basically just do the same old standard nonsense of getting into your 2/6 dragons, one of them being Gaydarg, putting Zephyros in the grave, and then going for your standard Red Eyes Darkness Metal play. That's the very, very standard start, you know, bread and butter Dragunity combo that you want to be achieving here. And you're obviously going to start bringing back Gaydarg off of the Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon. Now, honestly, I don't understand why not a lot of people have actually been paying attention to the potential of running more than one Baby Rock, because Personally, I don't like running it, but I understand why it's decent in this shape and form of like how the deck needs to function. But basically, if I was going to run one of it, I don't know why I wouldn't run more than one of it, specifically if I was going to dedicate that slot to another brick anyway, like say Harpy Harpist or something like that that's really unnecessary. Putting another Baby Rock in just seems really feasible because one, it allows this to happen, and two, it actually allows you to have good cards that you can actually discard off of Gatorg in higher quantity mid-combo. Like, say you had like a Ravine Flanks Mistleton combo and you drew Baby Rock. That's really good, because you get to search Garuda, discard this, and that's just an extended combo even further. But I digress. So at this point, this should be looking very standard, very familiar for what you're used to doing with Dragunities. The only real kind of difference is that you have Norden and Baby Rock out here now, which you are going to synchro into Red Wyvern, since you need something that's generic to use the Norden and the Baby Rock on. Now, Red Wyvern is honestly just the best dragon, generic level 6 dragon that I could think to put in here. It'll probably get replaced with Coral Dragon when that card comes out, but otherwise, it doesn't really matter which card you put there. I don't think Coral Dragon would be any more relevant than Red Wyvern, other than the fact that, like, in a neutral game state, its ability to discard a card and destroy a card is honestly just a little bit better than what Red Wyvern brings to the table, even though it is non-targeting destruction. But, I mean, only time will tell. But anyway, second Atum is made, and then you use this Atum to get Leviathan, and then Leviathan is going to get back your Phalanx that has just been, mysteriously lost in circulation this entire time. So you're going to get the Phalanx back, and you're going to special summon here, and we have not used the Zephyros yet, and we haven't even bounced the Red Eyes yet. That's the thing, is that we've done this entire thing without even bouncing the Red Eyes and reusing it. So you bounce the Red Eyes for Zephyros here, go into your second Vajrayana, and then go into any level 8 monster of your choosing. Preferably something that's bigger than 2400 in the case of this instance where we have Dragon's Bind, which is going to be on Atum, and then also like preferably something that can be a dragon that's going to be revivable off of Red Eye's Darkness Metal Dragon. So you can honestly make Stardust or Scrap Dragon. I preferably make Stardust here, because if the Titanic Galaxy effect does get baited, or Titanic Galaxy just dies in general, you're just able to Red Eyes bring back the Stardust Dragon, which is another form of protection. It turns it into a floater, essentially. But then from here, you just make Titanic Galaxy. It's very, very simple, very standard. You put Titanic Galaxy there, and then you special summon Red Eyes by banishing one of your Atums, and this is why you need the second Baby Rock, obviously, because, you can't do any other, like, cool, nifty play strings with this combination of cards, starting cards, that allows you to make, like, Ptolemy or anything like that, and then also your board presence. Like, your board gets really clogged, so it wouldn't even be possible to do that anyway. But so, add the second Baby Rock, discard the second Baby Rock, use its ability again, special summon it, and now you have a Synchro monster and a tuner. So you get to go for Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon. So see, like I said, this combo was something that I've been doing since Norden came out in Necro's format, but I just had to, tailor it differently over to this format, because the original combo was, Stardust, Felgrand, Red Med, and Atum, and I'd usually end up putting Scrap Dragon under the Red Med, because then, or Scrap Dragon under the Felgrand, rather, because then you'd be able to detach off of the Felgrands to negate an ability, or dodge Valkyrus, and then your Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon would just bring back the Scrap Dragon, thus giving you spot removal, stuff like that. So ultimately, you just ended up with something decent there. But that's not really that good in this format, because that was great in that format because of Necros, and the game was a lot, more clear-cut in terms of what you had to deal with. But in this format, you have to deal with Cosmo Ships, Monarchs, Stormforth, stuff like that. And Titanic Galaxy and Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon both do a very handily good job at that, as well as the fact that your opponent has to deal with these, and then also deal with the Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon, and then also deal with the Atum, potentially, because if they don't deal with the Atum and the Red Eyes, basically if they don't deal with this entire board, if they leave even the Atum, then next turn, if they don't have any sort of like disruption for your follow-up play, you just get to go into Ptolemy, add back the Red Med, summon the Red Med, get back Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon, and then you've reestablished to the same board basically that you've been at, and then if they don't even kill the Red Med, then you just get to bring this back as a floater anyway. Like, turning this card into a floater that's already really powerful is actually just really, really strong, in my honest opinion. But yeah, like I said, this Dragon's Bind is live on the Atum. The strike doesn't really matter. It could be any other trap in the game. Honestly, I wish that I wish that Atum didn't require dragons, or I wish there was a different way that we could actually just get Leviathan on the board. I've been experimenting with Beatrice nonsense, so that like instead of making Red Wyvern, we can make Stardust Charge Warrior and just draw a card, and then Beatrice the Leviathan to the grave, and then revive it off of Red Med. But I'm still working on some ways to make that potentially better, because you end up giving up a Gator Search, which ends up being rather crippling. You definitely don't end with the same sort of board, but maybe you could just play another brick in your deck in the form of like a Farfa or something, and make the Beatrice live on your opponent's turn as well. Like, there's definitely a bunch of like different potential options this deck could go forward with in terms of combos, and that's one of the things I really like about this deck, is the fact that the combos are incredibly like diverse in terms of what their potential ceilings are. Like, I've had some combos that are open-ended, like trying to do Boxia loops and stuff, and I literally ran out of extra deck cards before I reached a conclusion. And like, ultimately you just get to all this different cool stuff that you're able to do with this deck, and that's one of the reasons that it will be forever one of my favorite decks that's ever existed in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! And it's basically the deck that I've played the longest in terms of competitive play, and it is likely going to stay that for the foreseeable future, because I don't think I could ever play a deck as long as I played this deck ever again in all of its different forms. But other than that, that's all for this video. Let me know what you guys think about this sort of combo string. It's kind of just a little random video I wanted to do just to kind of show what could happen, what you could do, what's up, stuff like that. But that's basically just it for this one. Let me know what you guys think. I'm getting really dangerously close to 13,000 subs, so I want to say thank you for all the support that you guys have given me, and thank you to all the new people that have jumped on board. Whether you're new or you're old, it's all the same to me. Thank you for the support. Thanks for all the stuff you do to just kind of sit around and allow me to keep sort of doing these sorts of things, when honestly, it's honestly a privilege to be able to actually sit down and just do the kind of stuff that I do for this channel. So thank you very much. But other than that, that's it for this video. Like, comment, subscribe to all the nonsense you usually do. Links are in the description of my Facebook and Twitch links if you want to check those out. That's what they're there for. If you want to support me, clicking ads on my videos and disabling ad block when you view my videos is the best way to do so. Helps out a ton. I can't express how cool it would be if that's something you could take a few seconds out of your day to do, even if it means disabling your ad block, refreshing the video, clicking an ad or two, and then putting it back on when you're done. It helps out a ton, and it would be greatly appreciated, and you'd have my eternal gratitude if that's something that you want to do to help me out. And like I said, it just supports me a ton, and pretty much everything I earn from YouTube at this point is going towards potential new equipment, because I do want to get back into streaming. I want to do a potential regular streaming schedule, considering my job schedule is nice and tight and locked down now. I can actually possibly like work in an actual regular streaming schedule, because my job won't throw any curveballs at me randomly. So there is that. But other than that, that is it for this video. Again, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, and as always, guys, take care.